Oh, I'm so sorry for that. No sound. I'm so sorry for that. I just had to sort that out now, and I hope you can hear me clearly. So let me do a quick recap for the sake of those that didn't hear me. I'm so sorry about that. So what I'm simply saying here is that the US oil is what we are monitoring right now. And I told you that we are looking forward to selling the breakdown retest of the $77.50 level. And the reason why we are looking forward to selling at the breakdown of the $77.50 area is simply because of the selling pressure we have been witnessing in this market between the around the $77.50 area, which has lasted about 48 hours right now, and this might likely continue to the downside on this one. So I'm looking forward to selling below the $77.50 area going into the UK and New York session today. So what this simply means is that if price action remains below the $77.50 area, I will be looking forward to selling opportunities. And if it so happens that the sell momentum continues to the downside in such a way that it breaks down the trend line here, I told you I shared this on my public platform this morning where we identified a bullish trend line. So in the last couple of weeks now, price action has been bullish. But one thing we noticed is that as soon as price got into that $77.50 level, we have been witnessing selling pressure around this area to negate all attempt by the buyers to break out of this structure. So if this continues in such a way that price breaks down the $77.50 level, I told you that we are having the positions running, then a further breakdown of both the bullish trend line and the $76.68 level will be welcoming additional position. So if it so happens that a retest of structure followed by selling pressure happens below the structure, then definitely we want to be adding more position to our existing trade. Now, I said there is a caveat to this current structure, which I said, despite the fact that we are continue to looking out for selling opportunities here, we should not ignore the bullish attempt in this current market. As you all can see here, in the last couple of weeks, price action has been bullish, hence we cannot ignore the possibilities of buyers in this market. Now, the only thing I will be looking forward to buy the US oil is to see price action break out of that supply zone, which will definitely be a beautiful signal for a bullish momentum. And what this simply means is that if price action breaks out of that structure at the supply zone area, it means that it has taken out all the sell positions here. And if it so happens that we gain some liquidity around that area, multiple rejection of the structure will welcome additional position to our existing trade. So let's have this perspective in mind too as well as we continue to be in our bearish position. So if it so happens that a breakout happens, let's be on standby to catch that move as well. So that is that on the US oil. I hope I made myself clear. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop your inquiries in the comment section below. Now I will be moving on to the next pair, and the next pair we shall be looking at this morning is the USDJPY. And in fact, since the beginning of the week, it has been a choppy situation here on the USDJPY. As we can see, price action was initially caught within a channel for us here, as we were able to identify the channel between the 136.550 level and the 136.600 area. And you all know what we look out for whenever we have this kind of channel. We wait for either a breakout of the channel to give us a buy opportunity or a breakdown of the channel for selling opportunity. Now we were able to take advantage of some buy opportunity here on Tuesday, where I think on Monday I shared this structure here which we identified on the 15 minutes time frame. So if I go to my trading view platform and look at the what's it called, the USDJPY, right? So if we look at the USDJPY and look at the I think on Tuesday, I guess. Okay, this is the structure here which I identified on the 15 minutes time frame, where I said a breakout of the 136.250 level will be welcoming an additional position to that trade. And this is exactly what happened. This is the 136.250 area on the 1 hour time frame, which we took advantage of as we rode the move it was here. We rode the move all the way up. Now, one thing interesting happened here. We had the breakout of the channel, of the resistance level of the channel. Price action climbed a little to the upside, which triggered our second position. And in fact, price moved about, about 40 pips in our direction before we begin to see the selling pressure here resume. And I told you on Monday, if you recall vividly, I said I wouldn't be selling unless price action breaks down the 136.550. We had our sell stop ordered right below that structure, which triggered that position right to the downside, and we were able to take advantage of that bearish move to the downside. We also had another position at the breakdown of the 136.00 level. So in fact, price action moved about 120 pips in our direction on the first position and about 70 pips in our second position. So we had approximately 200 pips running before this bullish momentum began. And during the course of the later part of the New York session yesterday, I shared this on my platform that we should be anticipating a bullish momentum if price action breaks out of this bearish trend line. It will be a beautiful signal that the trend line is no longer strong enough to hold that selling momentum. So I shared this I think late last night, that we should be anticipating a possible bullish momentum if price action, okay, this is where it is. So I shared this. I said buy pressure resumes, take out the sell positions in as much as we continue to look forward to selling opportunities below the 136.00 level, a breakout retest of the 136.150, and the bearish trend line will welcome buying opportunities on this one. And this was exactly what happened during the Asian session yesterday. We saw the breakout of the 136.150, retest of structure a couple of times to give us a confirmation of a bullish momentum, and I hope you are part of that trade. And if you had the breakout of that structure, definitely you will be currently running with about 40 pips in profit. Then we also had the breakout of the 136.550 level, which welcomed an additional position to this trade. So we have two positions running at this particular point in time. And for if you are part of these two positions, well done to you for being on standby to have caught this opportunity. Now we are at a critical point in the market. As you can see, price is approaching that zone that has been a strong selling niche in this market since the beginning of the week. Look at what happened around the 136.900 area. We saw selling pressure resume here, and that was on Tuesday. And right now, price action is heading toward that direction. So we are at a critical point in the market right now where a bearish momentum could actually happen, since that area has a strong memory for selling power. So in order to secure this current position, I will be advising us to move our stop loss accordingly to secure this one. So I will be advising us to have our stop loss somewhere right around the 136.290 level on the two buy positions that we have here. And let's see how this is going to be playing out. So I'm of the opinion that if price action breaks out of the 136.900 level, then definitely we are going to be in for an additional position on our existing trade. So in that regard, I have a buy stop order sitting above the 136.900 level, with the hopes that price action will be breaking out of that structure to incite another wave of bullish momentum on the USDJPY. But be rest assured that I will be jumping in the comment section of my publication on the USDJPY on my TradingView platform, just in case any sudden structure evolves in this current market. Now, there is one thing I would like to let you know here. In as much as we are in a buy position in this current trade, I've told you to move your stop loss accordingly, secure this current buy position as we continue to monitor price action. Now, there is one thing I also want us to take note of with this current structure, and that is if price action breaks down the 136.550, probably taking us out of the current buy position here, and we start seeing selling pressure below the structure, if you are a counter trend trader or a scalper, you might want to take advantage of that move. But if you are someone who is not comfortable scalping, nor taking counter trend opportunities, I would advise you to remain patient. As you all know that we cited the breakout of this bearish trend line for the first time this morning around the 136.150, and you all know that from a technical standpoint, whenever we do have a breakout of structure like this, we expect that price is likely going to come back, do a retest of structure in anticipation of that bullish momentum. So with this technical idea in mind, I'm of the opinion that even if price action breaks down the 136.550 level, I want us to hold on and see how far this retracement phase will go, as I'm still expecting a bullish momentum to happen in this current market. So like I said, if you are a scalper, you might want to take advantage of that move, had the breakdown, retest of the 136.550, setting pressure on your lower time frame. You can join the decline, which can give you about 50 to 60 pips thereabout on that one. And if you are not, then I want us to position ourselves between the 136.150 and the 136.00 level, where we shall be looking out for buy pressure on our lower time frame. It could come in the form of a double bottom structure, a reversal pattern, whichever comes in, to incite that second wave of bullish momentum in this particular market. So let's be on standby to catch that opportunity if price action breaks down the 136.550. And like I said earlier, we still have our buy stops sitting above the 136.900 level, hoping that price action will take out all the sell positions here to give us that leverage to add more position to our existing trade. So that is my view here on the USDJPY for today. I hope that we'll be on standby to catch any of these opportunities when it finally happens. Then I'll be moving on to the XAUUSD for today, and on the XAUUSD, this is what I was able to identify here. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate every single one of you who has been part of the bullish momentum that we took advantage of here at I think a couple of days ago, after we cited the buy pressure at around the 1,807, and we said we are going to be positioning ourselves right above the 1,814 level to take advantage of that opportunity. And what we have seen here in the last 48 hours was quite impressive, as price action had continued to find higher highs, breaking out structures like the 1,820 level. Remember, we also added another position there. Then we also added another position at the breakout of the 1,830, added another position at the breakout of the 1,836. So we had about 4 positions running on this one. And let's see how many pips was that in total. We had price action move about 3,000 pips on the first position. The second position gave about 2,300, and the third position gave about 1,300 as well. But the fourth position closed out at break even, as price action did not continue any further. So we had a move to the upside here. Selling pressure resumed and took us out of all the buy position that we are on the XAUUSD. So we are almost 6,000 pips in profit on the XAUUSD for this week. So for everyone who has been part of this one, kudos to you for being on standby to have caught that move. And during the later part of the New York session yesterday, I quickly shared this simple setup here on my TradingView platform, and I told us to anticipate the sell position that might likely happen during the Asian session. So let's quickly run through how we projected that on my public platform here. Okay, so this is the XAUUSD publication on my TradingView platform, and these are the daily commentaries as I normally guide, depending on the structures that we identified. So yesterday is the 1st of March, so I will be zooming into the 1st of March here. So these are the positions that we have been enjoying since Tuesday, and we rode the move all the way up, and then during the later part of yesterday's trading, okay, so before I went to sleep yesterday, I had a sell stop order sitting below the $1,836.50 level, and this was because of the selling pressure we have been noticing around the 1,845. So I said here, secure all buy positions as selling pressure resumes, and if this leads to the breakdown retest of the $1,836.50 level, selling opportunities will be welcomed. And this is exactly what happened here. We saw the breakdown of that structure, and I shared early this morning that we should secure all sell positions as sell pressure continues below the $1,836 level. So that is where we are right now, as if you are taking advantage of that move right now, you would currently be running with about, let's see, currently running with about 500 pips in profit at this point. And so, like I said on my daily commentaries, kindly move your stop loss accordingly, secure your current position around your entry point right now as we continue to monitor this price action. And I am of the opinion that the current structure here has a tendency of giving us multiple entries. Now, as we head into the New York and UK session today, what are the things we are going to be looking out for? What structures are we going to be using to guide our trading activity? Well, the first one I want us to identify here is this bearish trend line. So I want us to take note of this bearish trend line here. Let me do some readjustment. Okay, so this trend line has been guiding selling pressure since the New York session yesterday. As you can see, if we connect the series of lower highs here, you can see that price action has been respecting that bearish trend line. So we want to continue to see price action trade below that trend line to be comfortable in our current sell position in this market, and with the hopes that price action will be doing a breakdown retest of the $1,830 level to add more position to our existing trade. Now, if we look at the bullish trend line we identified yesterday, look at what has been happening here since the beginning of the week. Price action has been bullish, and when we connected the series of higher lows here, we have that bullish trend line figured out. Though we had a breakdown here, but immediately price broke out of that structure to the upside, and since the breakout to the upside here, price action has continued to trade above that trend line. Now, with the situation we have here in the last 5 hours now, we already have a breakdown of that trend line, which also shares a confluence with a bearish trend line there. So with price action trading below the structure here, I want to feel comfortable in my sell position at this point. So ensure you have moved your stop loss accordingly, secure your position at the entry point here as we continue to monitor this price action. So I'm looking forward to another breakdown of the structure. So I'm having a sell stop order sitting below the 1,830 with the hopes that price action will continue to trade to the downside. So let's see how this plays out. And if price action gets into the 1,820 level, a very significant structure on the daily time frame, if you want to have a better understanding into this current structure, I think I would advise you to watch the XAUUSD video publication I shared on, I think, 4 days ago. You can scroll through my channel, you will see it. And at the end of this session, I will be dropping the links, or you could check the comment section. You could check the detail box below. You will be seeing the link to that XAUUSD. So I laid more emphasis on the importance of that 1,820. So if it so happens that price action comes into the structure, however price action reacts to that level will be determined if we are going to be adding more position to our sell position, or we might be getting ready to join another wave of bullish momentum. So this is what we are going to be looking forward to sell the XAUUSD. Now, considering the importance of the 1,830 level, which has a memory of buying power, as you can see what happened here during the early hours of yesterday's trading session, we saw some buy pressure resume around that area, and we were lucky enough to take advantage of some buying opportunity around that structure. Now, it's very likely that we might see this buy pressure resume again. As you can see, in the last couple of hours, we have been noticing some traces of buying power resuming around that area. So at this point, we need to be very careful. And as a result of this buy pressure that we have been noticing on this chart in the last couple of hours, that is why I have said we should be moving our stop loss to secure this current position around this area. Now, what will happen here that will make us realize that buyers have finally come into this market? Well, the first thing I want to be seeing to confirm that buyers have come into this market is to see price action break out of this bearish trend line. If price action breaks out of this bearish trend line, it will be a beautiful signal that the trend line may no longer have the capacity to continue to hold that bullish momentum. But one thing I would want us to take note here is that we've been bearish since the New York session yesterday, so we are not just jumping into conclusion that we want to be buying at the breakout of that trend line. What we need here is a further confirmation to give us that leverage to join that rally, and a confirmation will probably come in the form of a retest of the trend line. Scale down to your lower time frame, look out for buying pressure, multiple rejection of that structure, after which we want to be joining that bullish momentum to the upside. And if a further breakout of the 136.50 level happens, then this will be another beautiful opportunity to confirm that the bullish momentum here is getting stronger with time. And like I said, the structure here has tendencies of giving us multiple entry, and if another further breakout of the 1845 level happens, remember that level has been a strong selling niche here in the last 24 hours. So if we sight a breakout of that structure as well, we'll definitely want to be adding more position to our existing trade. But don't feel confused here. You know, I always jump in the comment section on my TradingView platform to give you an update if there is any sudden surprises the market brings in at any point in time. So let's secure the current sell position. Looking forward to a further breakdown of the 1830 to add more position here. And if it so happens that price action breaks out of the trend line, then definitely we will be getting ready to join a bullish momentum, but we will need further confirmation before joining that bullish momentum, which I said will be coming in as buying pressure above the trend line. So these are my views here on the XAUUSD for today. So I hope I made myself clear. If you have any questions, feel free to drop your enquiries in the comment section. So I will be moving on to the last pair for today, and the last pair we are going to be looking at today is the GBPUSD. Now on the GBPUSD, we are quite profitable at this particular point in time. So let's quickly run through what has been happening here since the beginning of this week. Well, at the beginning of the week, we identified a simple flat channel which happened to exist between the 1.19650 and the 1.19400. So this is where the week started for us on the GBPUSD. We had a little consolidation phase, and you all know what we look out for whenever we sight a flat channel like this. All we need to do is to remain patient, wait out for either a breakout of the structure for buying opportunity or the breakdown of the structure for selling opportunities, and we placed our orders accordingly at the resistance point, waiting for perhaps price to break out of that structure to give us a trading opportunity. And we were lucky enough to be part of that bullish momentum as we saw price action break out, retest the 1.19650 level to trigger that position there. Then we added positions as breakouts of structure at the 1.200 level and the breakout of structure at the 1.20250 area, and price action moved significantly well in our favor before we were taken out of all position. In fact, we have a maximum movement of about 170 pips in profit. That's only on one position, and if we take into consideration the other positions here, you will definitely have been running with close to 400 pips in this market. Now, since then, price action fell into a choppy situation where we started seeing some consolidation phase happen here between the 1.21350 and the 1.20 area, which further emphasizes the indecision in this market. And what we did here during the live session yesterday was to map out a structure which we said we shall be using to guide trading activity for yesterday's trading session. And one of the structures we identified here yesterday was that bearish trend line you can see on my screen right now. So we had the bearish trend line here figured out after connecting the series of lower heights. And what we said here is that if price action continue to trade below that trend line, we shall definitely continue to hold on to our bearish momentum. And as you can see here, price action has been trading below that structure. We saw the breakdown retest of the structure on our lower time frame here during the New York session yesterday to trigger our sell stop order. I shared this on my public platform as usual in anticipation of that breakdown so that we can be part of that profitable journey. So let's quickly look at the GBPUSD publication, which I shared on my public platform. That is the TradingView platform. So yesterday was March 1st, right? So on the 1st of March, we shall be zooming into the 1st of March. Okay, so we have the 1st of March here. This was a morning session where we took advantage of the buy opportunity at the breakout of the 1.20600 level. As you can see here, price action triggered and sell momentum began, taking us out of that position. And I stated here that if price action breaks down the 1.20250 level, we want to be selling. This is my commentary here. I said selling pressure resumes following Bailey's speech. You know, the Bank of England governor had a speech yesterday, and following his speech, we had some selling pressure resume in this market as the price takes out the buy position. As we look forward to price climbing above the 1.20600 level for buying opportunities, we won't ignore the possibilities for sellers selling opportunity at the breakdown retest of the 1.20250. So this is the 1.20250, and I said we are going to be selling below that structure, and this was exactly what happened. We had the breakdown retest of structure, and price action continued to trade to the downside. So we had a situation running since the breakdown of the 1.20250 level here. The chart might look a little bit confusing, so I had to do a clean chart to highlight the current market structure here on the 1 hour time frame. So I had to do this one here, which will make things a little bit easier on the high. So we had two positions running since yesterday. So we had the breakdown of the 1.20400, which triggered a sell position. Then we also had a breakdown of the 1.200 level, which also triggered another sell position. And for those who are in these positions right now, I will be advising you to move your stop loss accordingly to secure this current position. And the most appropriate area to secure this current position is at around the 1.200 area. Just move your stop loss around there. Let's give price action some room to breathe in anticipation of a potential bearish momentum. Now remember that we are at a strong demand zone right now. Price action is at the 1.198 level, which has been a strong demand zone, and there is a tendency that buy pressure could come in from this area. So though we are looking forward to sell below this level, but we are not selling unless we see further confirmation. Now what do I mean by that? So if we cite a breakdown of the 1.198 level, remember we are not getting too excited here as we seek further confirmations to happen before joining that decline. And this confirmation is definitely going to be coming in the form of a retest of structure. It could come to this level at the 1.198, which also shares a confluence with that trend line, or it could go as far as retesting that bearish trend line, which we said has been guiding setting pressure since the beginning of the week to incite that confirmation for us. So if that happens, then at this point we want to be having a sell stop order below the 1.19800 level to join that decline to the downside. So I would advise us to keep this in mind as we look forward to setting opportunity below the 1.198 level. Remember not to get too excited at the breakdown, as we need to be very patient here. Remember, this is a strong demand zone and we need further confirmations to happen so that we don't get caught up within a false breakdown. So we want to see price action do some retest of structure, scale down to your lower time frame, look out for multiple rejections here, then you can join that decline to the downside. So that is what we are going to be looking forward to sell the GBP USD for today. Now there is a caveat to this current structure here. In as much as we are looking out for selling opportunities, we cannot ignore the buying potential in this market. Now, why have I said so? Remember I told you we have a demand zone here. just around the 1.198 level, which has been characterized by buying pressure in the last 48-72 hours. Sorry, in the last 1 week, I guess, we have been witnessing buy pressure around this area. So there is a high chance that bullish momentum could resume from that structure. And if we look at what happened prior to Monday's trading session, we saw this impulsive bearish move to the downside, which later transitioned into something that looks like a reversal pattern in the form of a double bottom structure, which is a strong reversal pattern. And since the breakout of that structure to the upside, there is a high chance from a technical standpoint that price will come back to a retest of this level to incite another wave of bullish momentum here. So what I'm saying here is that we should also keep an open mind to welcome buying opportunities in this market. Now, if a bullish momentum is going to be coming in this market, then definitely we want to be positioning ourselves in a very good area to take advantage of that move. Now, what do we want to be looking out for to buy the GBPUSD for today? Well, remember I told you the importance of the 1.200 level on my daily time frame. If you have not watched my video on the GBPUSD, which I normally share during the weekend, I would advise you to go and look at that video so that you can see the importance of the 1.200 level, which I laid much emphasis on in that video. Check the detail box below. In the detail box below this video, you will be seeing the GBPUSD. You'll be seeing a link that will be taking you to the GBPUSD pair, so you will be able to see the importance of that structure. So what I'm saying here is we want to see price action break out of the 1.200 level for buying opportunity here. Now, why have we said that? If you look at the importance of that structure, you can see it shares a beautiful confluence with that bearish trend line, which has been guiding bearish momentum since the beginning of the week. Now, if price action takes out the selling positions there, breaking out of the bearish trend line, this will turn out to be a beautiful signal that the bearish trend line may no longer have the capacity to continue to hold selling momentum in this market, and a breakout of that structure will definitely trigger a buy position for us. And if price action comes back to do a retest of structure followed by buying pressure right above the 1.200 level on our lower time frame, we shall definitely look out for another opportunity to add more position to our existing trade. Then a further breakout of the 1.20400 level also will be welcoming additional position. Be rest assured that I will be jumping in the comment section on my TradingView platform to give you an update on how we expect to trade this. So ensure you follow me on my TradingView platform so that you don't miss out on the daily commentaries I normally share in the comment section of the publications on my TradingView platform. So I think on this note, I would like to call it a day here. I've checked the comment section and there seems not to be any questions whatsoever regarding what I just explained. So it has been a wonderful moment with you guys. I really appreciate every single one of you, and I wish you best of luck as we head into the UK and New York session. Join me on my TradingView platform. Darksherry is the name, DARCSHERRY, as I guide you accordingly with daily commentaries in the comment section of all my publications. Thank you once again, and I see you on the other side on the TradingView platform. Do have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye-bye.